In our last video, we focused on setting up your internal audit. We're now going to take a look at the first part of the audit, which are the individual questions. Now, these are completed by all general and DP staff. To access these, we come to the navigation pane, click on Internal Audit, and this brings up a new pane solely focused on your audit. Now, the individual questions are broken down into two parts. The first is a set of 12 questions which aren't designed to catch anybody out, and they should really take about 10 minutes to complete. Now, these questions regard day-to-day practice, and really you need to get staff to view these as a bit of a checklist of good practice. And certainly at this stage, they need to be really honest. Okay, you need to know what things they aren't doing so that you can then provide further training if it's necessary. The second of the two sections concerns training that they've had with regard to data protection. So, in terms of the format of these questions, we just click on the first. You have a question and you have a prompt. So if we hover over this black icon here, this gives us a bit more detail as to what the question is asking. And then we get a multiple choice. So if I click on this drop down here, we can answer yes, no, partly or not applicable for each question. Now for these first 12 questions, there really isn't any expectation that staff are going to add in any free text. So merely answering yes or no or partly is fine. But if they want to, they can click on this little black triangle, and that provides a free text box. Now, we've got such questions as, do you keep your password secure? Do you dispose of confidential paper? These are things you'd expect to see in an audit of data protection. We've also got a good one, which is, do you position your computer screens away from doors and windows so that they can't be seen? It's little things like this that we hope the general staff are going to start to embed. Staff can either save current progress, which will enable them to come back and edit if they want to, or alternatively they can click on Save as Completed, and once they press that button they won't be able to gain access to these questions any longer. If we move on now to the second of the two question sets, this is about training. So in this part, staff are going to have to list all of the training that they've had in the last 2 years. Now, slightly different to the previous set, in that staff here are expected to type some free text in. So they're going to select, first of all, yes, they've had some training, and then click on the little triangle, and they can then detail what that training entailed. So as an absolute minimum, you'd expect staff to be writing down that they've read the school or the MAT's privacy policy or data protection policy. Also, perhaps they may have watched some of our role-based training videos. Anything like that, they can pop it in just here. And the last one, my particular favourite, is if you were asked to demonstrate your understanding, would you be able to do so? So in other words, did you understand the training? Fingers crossed they click on yes. And same as the previous section, they can either save current progress or save as completed.